Hi, my name is Crystal Starr, and I am the founder and the creator of the Starlight Work Circle. And at the Starlight Circle, we are passionate about creating a better world, a better, happier world by making people's lives better and happier using a whole range of techniques, including, of course, mindfulness and meditation. And I have been really looking forward to this today. I am interviewing Heather from Mystical Meditation. So Heather, for anybody who doesn't know you, do you want to tell people about you and about Mystical Meditation?
Okay, well, I've been studying and sharing the teachings of the 20th century American mystic, Joel Goldsmith, for over 30 years now. And Mystical Meditation is the online platform I use to share his wisdom. I host meditation groups and spiritual talks and events online and in person in London and in America. So, for those who are completely new to Joel Goldsmith, he was an American healer and mystic who was born in New York in 1892, and he made his transition in London in 1964. He wrote and founded The Infinite Way, which is a spiritual teaching that's based on the true nature of consciousness. And he taught how to live in awareness of our spiritual identity through meditation.
Meditation for spiritual advancement is a reason why a lot of people choose to meditate and learn to meditate. And it's certainly the reason I started meditating. I'll tell you a little story. I started out all those years ago, back in the 90s, very early 90s. All my friends were astrally projecting, and I wanted to astrally project, and that is the reason actually why I started meditating in the first place. And I know I'm not the only one, and meditating for kind of spiritual advancement and connection in with connection in with source or connection in with spirit guides is a huge reason, like I said, why a lot of people do meditate. So Heather, how do you feel that meditation and mindfulness connect in with what you teach, and what kind of meditation is it that you do teach?
Okay, well, I'll start off by saying that meditation has many benefits. It helps to ground us and keep us centered, and it's a very positive way of learning how to cope with new life situations. Um, so, Joel Goldsmith suggested that there are many ways to meditate, but he suggested that it can be helpful to stop at certain times during the day, just to pause and be still inwardly. So, for example, when we wake up, being still for a few moments and perhaps listening within. When we eat our breakfast, again, mindfully sitting down, mindfully eating the food, all helps us to be fully present in the moment. When we walk through a door, and so on throughout the day, we can give ourselves permission just to be in that moment. And meditation doesn't have to be for long periods. You reap the benefits from just short 1 minute meditations if that feels more manageable for you. Crystal, with regards to the type of meditations that we do in the Infinite Way, well, Joel wrote a whole book on what he called the art of meditation. And for him, the purpose of meditation is to rest in the awareness of our mind, our consciousness, and then let that inner light radiate through as our experience.
Yeah.
And doing this brings harmony into our life. He suggested that anyone new to meditation might begin by finding a comfortable place to sit where they won't be disturbed, and then perhaps contemplating either a short passage from scripture or a word such as peace, joy, love, etc. And the purpose of this is to quieten the mind so that you reach the place ultimately of just listening within, being completely inwardly still. And doing this, you become aware of your own inner self, your soul, and you gradually come to see what's really here, i.e., your spirit, and what isn't, the thoughts which are transitory. And this ultimately leads up to a place of living in continual awareness, resting there, which Joel calls communing with God, i.e., ourself, our inner self.
So, Heather, tell me about your relationship with meditation. When did you start meditating? What benefits have you found that it's caused for you and your life? And what changes do you think it's brought to your life?
Oh my goodness, well, lots.
Yeah,
When I was in my
same.
early 20s, yeah, uh, when I was in my early 20s, I attended a You Can Achieve Your Goals course. And the lady who presented it said to me at the end, I'm sure you'd much prefer this. And she handed me a copy of the book, The Infinite Way. I've got it here, so I'll show you. It's this one.
Wow.
Um, and she was absolutely right. It's only a small book, as you could see, but I was transfixed. And, you know, Crystal, I didn't understand it at all. But that's what got me hooked because I really
Yeah.
wanted to understand what Joel was talking about. So I started by practicing short daily meditations, which was completely new to me at that point. And of course, because I was learning to quieten my mind, my whole world turned upside down. But with hindsight, I can see that at that stage, I was shedding the beliefs and worries that weren't serving me anymore. And I can honestly say to you that meditations radically changed my life in every way. But it's happened in stages. And I think that's more because I slowly eased my way into learning how to stop reacting to appearances. And it's brought absolute miracles into my life at times,
Yeah.
especially when I've not known which way to turn or how to resolve problems that I was facing. And the less reactive and more inwardly still I became, the more my life became harmonious. It's improved every area of my life in answer to your question. My friendships, my relationship, my finances, my health, everything. I think it's removed things that weren't good for me and instilled me with a deep, tangible sense of peace.
Yeah. That's so true. I must agree. And it's the first thing I want to say is it's amazing how these things just turn up. We get given books or somebody recommends a book or something. That's how I ended up with my Course in Miracles, absolutely, for sure. But everything you said about meditation, I say this so often, and I think people don't really believe me when I say exactly what you've just said, is it has changed my life in every way. And you mentioned then bringing more consciousness into your life, and that's certainly one of the benefits for me. So what other benefits do you think meditation can bring to your life?
Well, meditation is beneficial for our overall well-being and really all aspects of life. Um, for example, it enhances decision making when you're not sure what to do. It can give you clarity. It can help if you're feeling overwhelmed or depressed. By getting in touch with the inner state of calmness that's always within you. It can also improve your health and sense of overall well-being. It can improve our relationships because we're learning not to react on autopilot in ways that we would have done previously.
Yeah. Yes, that's so true. So very true. And I do talk in my in any meditation class a lot about autopilot. So many of us spend so much of our lives in autopilot. Now, you and me have spoken at some length about some of the obstacles to meditation and mindfulness, and I'm looking forward to this so much. We're actually going to be doing a video for your platform just about the obstacles very, very shortly. So watch out for that one. And it is so life-changing, and it's why I always suggest learning through a meditation teacher, because if you're not learning through a meditation teacher, you can get stuck on these obstacles and just not know what they are, not know what to do about them. And it's really, really helpful to have that guidance there to see you over these humps in the road. Now, one of the obstacles is what I call blocks. Now, I know you call them something different. Blocks are, in my opinion, or my experience, trapped false beliefs, or trapped beliefs, or trapped energy, or trapped emotions, or suppressed emotions, should I say, that are literally you're either reenacting if it's a belief or is stored in your energy system. And I call them blocks because they can literally prevent you from moving forward wherever it is that you want to go. They can literally prevent you from moving forward. But when we still the mind, these blocks or issues rise to the surface, and it can be quite confronting when these issues raise themselves to our awareness. And I believe it can prevent a lot of people from meditating, but really they're coming to our conscious awareness for our benefit, so that we can work through them and release them and move on. Now, like I said, we've spoken about this at some length. Now, I know that you call blocks something different, but I know that you have experienced that, and you kind of teach around that as well. So what is it that you call these blocks, and how would you deal with them?
I I think what you're referring to is the term alchemicalization, which is a word used in metaphysics. And it means that when we quieten our mind, as you've just said, all our emotional baggage that we've been suppressing is brought up to the surface to be faced and let go of.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. You put it so much more beautifully than me. Emotional baggage coming up to being resolved. Now, I teach a whole range of techniques to deal with and work through and overcome this. What kind of techniques do you use to work through this?
Well, I think an important distinction that differentiates the infinite way from other meditation practices is that we don't focus on the thoughts in the infinite way. We see them as ultimately substanceless and therefore powerless. And they arise and then they dissolve. We don't have to attach to them, and we don't have to react to them. So, knowing thoughts and feelings don't have any power in and of themselves, we learn to refocus instead on our own invisible presence, our inner silence, and then look out at the world that's presented to our senses from that perspective. Or it can be helpful just to listen within, or actually feel or sense the activity of the life force that we are. It gives the mind something to do other than focusing on the habitual train of thoughts.
Yeah, that's so true. I think I've heard that other teachers have taught that as well.
Okay.
I believe that Abraham Hicks teaches that as well, to focus more on your connection and the positivity. When we focus on our connection and the positivity, all the old baggage, you're not giving any power to it, fades away. Is that kind of what you mean by that?
Yeah, we simply observe the thoughts. We know that thoughts, as I've just said, arise and then they dissolve. It's when you actually watch this in meditation, you begin to see that I'm not thinking. Thoughts arise, as I've just said, and then dissolve. They just appear, and I don't create them. I don't think them, so I can completely detach from them. I can just let them be in the moment. And when we're not reacting to the thoughts, they vanish because they don't have any power over us. And that leaves us resting in a place of complete inner silence when we're not reacting to what the senses is presenting to us.
That's a beautiful way of putting it, and that's one of the other obstacles to meditation, isn't it? The intruding thoughts, but we'll talk about that in your video.
Okay, great.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, Heather. I really enjoyed that. Thank you so much. I've been really looking forward to interviewing you. Now, anybody who's interested, you can find me on starmindwork.com. All my social media links are there. You can also find Heather on my website. But is there anywhere else that people can find you and get involved in what you do, Heather?
Okay, well, I think you're including my link tree in the description, which is Mystical
Oh, yes, sorry.
Meditation.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
And
All the descriptions will be in the description. All the links will be in the description.
thank you. I actually offer quite a range of Infinite Way activities now. I host a WhatsApp group where we join together in healing meditation daily. I have an email mailing list where I send out weekly quotes from contemplation. I host weekly live streams on YouTube, book study groups via Zoom, and from the autumn, I'll be hosting in-person spiritual gatherings in London.
Oh, fantastic. I think you did mention that to me, actually. Right. Thank you so much for joining me, Heather. I really
Crystal,
do appreciate that.
Crystal,
And I
thank you so much for inviting me. It's been a real joy having this conversation with you.
it
Shall we
really
end with a
has.
very short meditation?
Oh, what a great idea. Absolutely.
Okay,
I'll
at the
let
end of the
you
meditation,
lead.
I'll say thank you. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's be still. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Heather. Thank you. That was lovely. Bye.